Still lamenting the days they took the pause button out of OBS. This makes things a lot easier on my end. Really would. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Dale Salvador here. I'm bad at intros. This is an EP. I'm gonna review it. This is Troum, I think. Troum. Troum. I think it's Troum. That makes the most sense to me. Oh my, Troum. This is Troum, not self-entitled. Oh Jesus! Wow. This is Troum Symbiosis. I've ruined this the most I. Troum is an experimental. Moving on. Troum is an experimental. Wow. Oh, Troum was an experimental electronic musician from Germany, and I always forget to do this in my reviews, but I usually want to call out the genre that the artist is in before I say anything. I always forget that, but they are an experimental electronic artist, and albums like this are a little bit tough to score sometimes. Not score, a little bit tough to review because not only is experimental subjective, but in the wide, wide world of experimental music, there's so much out there, and basically every name is a niche name. You don't really have people at the top exactly per se. It's one person go into the rabbit hole, another person go into the same rabbit hole, and they come out with two completely different sets of bands that they've heard of and stuff. At least for my knowledge, I think at the top would be Swans, honestly, but also Merzbow and Nurse with Wound. I think Trauma's up there. I don't know. It's a name I see a lot, so I would think. Kurt 93 as well. Either way, it's a bit subjective with this kind of stuff, and sometimes only have an album of like 2 songs, 1 song, 3 songs, 5 songs. So the way I at least at the end when I score my albums, what I do is I go, okay, well, it's 10 songs. How much did I enjoy those 10 songs and the whole thing? And if like I really hate some and really like others, it kind of really depends. If an album is like 2 songs and I really liked one and I really didn't like the other, it's like, well, I don't want to give it a 5. It doesn't really make any sense. So at least with this album, I recommend checking it out for yourself, because at least me, some dumb internet person, I think it's good. I think it's real good. And it's 5 tracks, 20 minutes. Took me 4 hours to get this, more closer to 5 or 6 now, Jesus, to get this review. Not because I'm a stammering mess, but because I put it on. I pretty much fall asleep because my ADD is annoying. So I had to run to the store in my shorts. It is winter still, by the way, to get sugar. And now I'm awake, but now it's almost 10 p.m. And so at least I figured out the lighting. It won't look like a dumb Simpsons character when this video eventually goes up. Anyways, first track. By the way, every track is untitled, but the first track, named nothing, named Untitled, Untitled 1, sets up a good sonic, not experience, a good sonic expectation for what the album's going to sound like, in terms of just sonically what the texture's going to sound like. And it's not really beautiful, it's not menacing, it's not eerie, it's not melancholic, it's a weird, really interesting, complete center. The second track, also untitled, plays with this thing called the shepherd's tone, or so, which is the shepherd tone is an audio illusion, and I don't know how to explain it, but the best thing I can do is do this for a second. So the shepherd tone, basically, it's kind of hard to explain. to people who don't know music things. But basically, you have in your your scale, your thing. You have your that's your stuff. That's for eight. You see the top two are they're the same. Just one's higher, one's lower. You can do this anywhere. So where you start doesn't matter. But basically, if you go all the way to the bottom, to make it easy, what the shepherd tone does is you'll have something playing that'll sound. I'm going to see if I can get like a better sound. Sure, whatever. Get something like this, and it'll go up all the way to here. You know, your equal thing, and then once it gets to that, it'll start again. I'm really bad at it, but the whole point, it's not really something that you can do um, just with tangible things. You kind of have to do it with software involved and stuff. Basically, the whole point is that you have one scale over top of another scale, and it seems like it's going higher, but it doesn't. It doesn't come across on this. It doesn't come across when I'm doing it because it's not engineered the way it's supposed to, and a lot of things. So basically, when you listen to the song, you'll get it, but it's that kind of idea, and it's really interesting, and the song also fades in, so it kind of builds tension, and it builds it and builds it and builds it, and it keeps going up and up and up, and then it kind of ends, from what I remember. I don't actually remember. Like I said, I kept falling asleep during this album, but it just kind of peaks. It peaks and it kind of just evaporates, and it doesn't exactly release, so to say. Which can be intentional, can not be. Don't know. You know, a lot of experimental artists. The whole point is to make something that's abrasive and not exactly satisfying to the normal listener. And I feel like to listen to this kind of stuff, you kind of have to not be a normal listener. You have to want to be going outside your comfort zone, and you gotta have some screws loose. And that may or may not be a Chainsaw Man paraphrase, but whatever. Moving on. That'd be the longest track by far, about 8 minutes. The last three are I kind of put them together in my own head. They're all about 2 minutes, 2 to 5, and the first one's very mellow, very menacing. The second one is not so much, and the last one is kind of that, like, almost ascension moment. It's very very transcendent, very a lot more positive sounding, and they all kind of sound the same, like sonically, like I said. So the whole project's very nicely tied together. I don't really know what to say for this because usually with proper albums, ones that aren't experimental, there's a lot more to say. There's a lot more going on. Well, these kinds of albums, there's not honestly a lot going on, but that's what makes them good. Is a lot of times they're simplistic, and when the ideas behind the music are so simplistic, a lot of times you can really put in a lot of effort in everything else because you're not focused on the concept, you're focused on the mixing and soundscapes and all kind of stuff. And if I were to give this a score, I'd say probably a good like 8 out of 10. I do like this a lot. Yeah, that's about it, honestly. So yeah.